Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? Big Philly with Poor Boys RC. Thank you again for tuning in today. Got a really cool project on the go today, guys. The M06 Tamiya Lowride Pumpkin. I've got the body here. I've got a special plan for the body, and today we're going to start working on this body. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of enter the RC body shop, if you will. So if you've watched some of my past videos, I work in the auto body industry. My wife is a painter in the auto body industry. You've seen us paint bodies in a body shop. And we have access to the tools and people that know how to use them. And that makes it pretty handy. But what I want to do today is use some common RC products that you would find in your local hobby store. We'll go over these in a little bit. And we're going to use these products that we all have access to, we can all use with ease, and make a really sweet, cool, custom hot rod paint job on this thing. So the only position I'm going to cheat is in the actual paint itself. There's a color that I've wanted to put on this for a long time. It's a deep candy red that's on the new Mazda 3s, and I guess that's one spot where I'm going to cheat and revert back to auto body, because I just can't get that same effect with the Tamiya paints that I have. So I thought about using just like an external color, like a TS Tamiya something, like a nice pearl or something. But I really want to put this Mazda 3 on it. Unless there's a huge uproar and you guys must see it done with Tamiya paints, which I will do if there's enough of you guys that say it. My gut said originally to go with a deep candy red on this, and that's what I was planning to do. Without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to do to this body to make it, to kind of tidy it up and get it ready for some of the bodywork products that we have to use here, okay? Let's check this out. So starting off, checking out this body here, guys, we've got these posts right here. Two on this side, two on this side. And these posts were originally designed for the roll bar. And actually one of my viewers made a comment that it wouldn't look great to have a roll bar on a lowrider. And you know what? You're 100% right. I didn't even think of that, but 100% right. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut these off with the Dremel, and that will reveal a nice flat box. And then with that flat box, we are going to get out the, it's not balsa wood, I think we call it basswood. Anyway, just super thin wooden strips that I picked up at my local hobby store. They're about 75 cents each, Canadian, which is about a penny US. We are going to build a custom wooden box. So use your imaginations here. Work with me. We're going to do something like this. A nice wooden slat custom box. Something along those lines, okay? Cool, very cool, très cool. So that's the plan with the box of the truck. What about the rest of the truck? Tamiya makes one heck of a gorgeous body, but I'll tell you something, this one in particular was damaged in transit. See that? That is broken, so that's not cool. I thought it was a scratch. I was scratching at it, what the heck? And then, so that was broken in, like right out of the box. So we're going to fix that. On top of that, you would obviously notice a bunch of body post holes here and here. Here and here, we have a giant hole for a resistor, because this is the same body mold they've been using for years and years. The original Tamiya Pumpkin had a resistor in the back. And if you look closely, right there, see that shiny little circle right there? Check this out. What's really going on with that little circle? Watch this, guys. This is a sticker that came in the kit to hide the fact that there's more body post holes. So the sticker is basically pure lies, and let's get this one off here too. So this particular body post hole on this side of the truck is used for the Midnight Pumpkin, and since they're using the same body, they created two more holes up here for the Lowride. Super, like, great idea in terms of efficiency and you know, whatever they use, like dyes or whatever they use, the molds that they use to create these bodies in the factory, they can reuse the same thing. Totally makes sense. But for the end user, you end up with a body that's full of holes you're not using and stickers hiding the holes. Like, that's not going to fly for this body. We're going to make it look really, really cool. One other thing to point out, come a little bit closer here. In the light, the camera just picks it up. And right here, there's a little circle, and right here. Can you see that little guy? See that little guy right there? Our paint will show that. So we're going to sand that down, make it nice and smooth so you don't see it. One more thing we're going to do to this body is, as you see it assembled, we've got these big, ugly screws sticking out the side. And I want to do away with those screws. I don't want to see that. I want it to look nice and sleek. I want to take pictures of this thing, and you might think it's a real car. We're going to really try and scale this thing up, make it look very nice in scale, and this thing won't be much of a runner. So we're going to make it look nice and scale, okay? How's that sound? Sounds good to me, Phil. Good, Phil. So that's what we're going to do. Let's talk about some of the products that we have to use to make this all happen. So some of the stuff we need to make this all work, guys. First tool I'm going to use today is a Dremel. From there, we're going to use some Milliput. That stuff isn't quite, Milliput's not nice enough to create a nice, smooth, perfect finish. From there, we're going to utilize the Tamiya putty. Shoe goo. If you're into RC, you have to own shoe goo. It is amazing. Q-tips work really, really well for making sure your ears are clean. Also great for applying things like shoe goo. So we're going to use that for that. Razor blades, you guys see me using these all the time. I love using razor blades. And we're going to spread some putty with the razor blade. We're going to be doing some cutting with the razor blade. Got to have razor blades, always. So step one, guys, we need to cut off these roll bar supports. That's what we're going to do right away. So there you have it there, guys. We cut out the 4 mounts for the roll bar. And this is just like the real world of bodywork. And, I couldn't get access to cut these round posts off completely. And what happened was, it turns out they're kind of attached and molded to the side of the box. And it kind of made a mess right here and a bit of a hole right here on the inside of this box. So just like in the real world of auto body, we're going to have to fix that up. So that's part of the game. All good, baby. We are going to fix this stuff up and make it look gorgeous. All right, guys, so the box has been cut out. That is set up. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to fix this crack in the body right here. So, to fix that, I'm going to use my buddy here, Mr. Shoe Goo. Check it out. But we're going to sand that once that's dry and put a little bit of putty on it, and hopefully you won't see it in the bodywork afterward. Now the next step on this body, we've got these really highly visible screws, let's just say highly contrasting, highly visible screws that we don't want. The ones back here, they don't bother me at all because they're going to be covered by the box. And the ones inside here, as you can tell, are holding the front portion of the body in place. So we have to keep that there. So that's all good. But externally, these screws are not very pretty. So we are going to get rid of those next. And just as easy as taking them out, or just as easy as putting them in, I should say, simply unscrew them to remove. And I know you're thinking, but Phil, that's going to leave a giant hole in the body. And you are 100% absolutely right. It is indeed. But that's okay. We're going to get it fixed up. Pan out a little bit there. Let's get some goo of the shoe going on here. And so it's really important to get the shoe goo on the header panel, the headlight mounting panel, and then on that little spacer, and then have it connect over into the body. That way everything is connected. Boom. Just like that. It's not pretty, but it works. Works like a hot damn. A little more goo of the shoe, and bingo bango, Uncle Bob. So just like that, that's going to hold that body in place beautifully, that front header panel, and no visible screws. So with body work like this, guys, think of it in stages. You have to do kind of the heavy stuff first, then you have to do the medium stuff. Like the heavy stuff is structural. We're going to fix the structure of the vehicle. Next step would be to do the finishing of that structural repair. So we're going to take that structural heavy repair and make it look good. We're going to finesse it. Then the third step is going to be the prep and paint work. So we've got a 3-step process here. This is step 1. We're doing all the heavy structural repair on this body. Speaking of which, we have got some body posts to fix and to fill. So let's get cracking on that next. Now what I want to do is fill these body holes. I'm going to use magnetic body clips or body posts on this build. So there's no need for these body holes, these body post holes to be here. So we want to fill these. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 that we want to fill. And I'm not concerned about the holes in the back, again, because we're going to build a custom wooden box for the back. So that wooden box is going to hide all this. However, what happened when I was drilling these out, cutting off these supports for the roll bar, was I took a giant chunk out of the side of the box. So we're going to put some putty in there. We're going to fill it, sand it, smooth it out, and make that look a lot better so we don't have a giant gaping hole in the side of this thing. We got to make it look good. So let's get cracking. So welcome to the world of Milliput. You want this to be about 50-50. Take these two and just mix them together. It's really that simple. So now it's mixed up. This is officially hardening right now. So I need to get cracking pretty quick. So I'm going to break off chunks of it, and I want to fill these body post holes. So let's start with this guy, for example. And actually, you don't need too much. I'm just going to press that down. And I got to keep in mind that I'm going to put a magnet here eventually for my magnetic body posts. So I want to make sure these ones here in particular are very nice and smooth. And it's going to smooth that out. I don't get to use this stuff too often, so. Fill up that fender. So that's it, guys. Super easy. Let's clean this up while it's still nice and soft. because this stuff is, when it hardens, it gets hard as a rock. Okay, so there are the 4 body post holes, all filled, and they're a little bit low. This stuff's sitting a little bit low, but that's exactly what you want, okay? And that's how it looks on the inside. Nothing pretty at all about it. Now, I've got 2 major holes right here that I created inadvertently, so let's get those big guys filled. And I'm going to tackle this from the outside, I think, because I think this might be the easiest way to go about it. Just like on this side, you see this big hole? Had a similar one here, and I just want to fill this up. And this is not going to look perfect. I mean, it's so hard. You know, bodywork's a hard thing on a good day, but to make it 1/10 scale when you've got hands that are this big, it's going to be really challenging to make this perfect. But I am okay if it's not perfect. We're just going to sand that nice and smooth, make it look nice. And after it's painted, you would never know it's there unless you watch this video. So that is that, guys. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit again while this stuff is soft and malleable. Now's the time to kind of wipe up any mess that you may have made. All right, guys, we are making awesome progress here. So the body post holes are filled. The shoe goo is drying up quite nicely. This is starting to firm up really good. And what we're going to do next is I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper and I'm just going to sand the top of these post holes. And I'm also going to sand off these little round little nibs right here, because that will show up through our bodywork. So I'm going to start with that guy right there. I'm just going to sand that away so it's gone. You don't have to go crazy with it. If you don't feel it, it'll be gone. See that perfect little ring there? So you can still see it, and I can still feel it. Couple more swipes. You can still see just that little corner there. And it's gone. So we are going to do the exact same thing just over these milliput areas. And you might be wondering why. I could have done this before I put the milliput in. I wasn't thinking very proactively, I suppose. That's all good. But we're doing this so that the filler we put on top has a little bit of mechanical adhesion, something to bite into. Now I'm going to take my Tamiya putty basic type, and what we'll do is take our spreader, putty spreader, aka razor blade, aka scissor cutter or decal cutter outer, aka tool that I love to use, and I'm just going to put a little bit, just that little dab right there, and then spread it over that hole, just like that. Right? Easy peasy. A little bit right here. Boom. Like that. Spread it over that hole. Got it? Good. Let's do it 2 more times. One here. Spread it over the hole. And 4th one, you guys know what we're doing. We're going to spread it over the hole. Boom. Just like that. Look how ugly this body looks. Good job, Phil. One final step I want to perform is that this crack here, I can really feel it. So I'm just going to take this 400 grit paper and I'm going to sand it as smooth as I can. You can see the crack and you can see the shiny spots on either side. The shiny spots are low. The sandpaper hasn't touched it yet. So you know it hasn't been sanded smooth yet. So you got to keep going. So So I'm just going to put a little bit, again, the Tamiya putty. Take a little bit of this and just glide it over that crack. So here's the end product, guys. We've got a body where we've cut off the mounts for the roll bar. We have filled body post holes. We have done some structural repair. Look at this, the shoe goose starting to pour out. Oh, get back in there. If it does that, you can just take a razor blade, cut off the excess. Not a big deal. But we've done structural repairs. We've done you know, some pretty major filling work here. We've done some light filler work here as well. So this is really good, guys. We got a lot of work done here today. I'm gonna let this rest overnight, let everything cure, get good and hard. And then once this thing's all cured up and good to go, we're gonna hit this with a sander. We're gonna block sand this, make it sanded out nice and smooth, and get it ready for paint. That's the next step. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give me a like, a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I'd love it if you subscribed. And as always, don't forget to be excellent to each other.